You know those expressions that just paint a totally bizarre picture in your head? Well, the Dutch language is absolutely full of them. Today, we're going to unpack one of the most curious ones, a very common phrase that involves, of all things, a cat and a tree.
Okay, so here it is. In Dutch, the phrase is the kat uit de boom kijken. Now, if you translate that word for word, you get to watch the cat out of the tree. Kind of strange, right? Let's get the proper pronunciation from a native speaker.
De kat uit de boom kijken.
It's a fascinating phrase for sure, but it really makes you wonder.
Exactly. What possible situation calls for you to just stand there and stare at a cat stuck up in a tree? It seems totally random, but like all great idioms, there's a really clever meaning hiding just beneath the surface. So let's solve this little Dutch puzzle. Let's get from that strange literal image to the actual figurative point. And here it is, the big aha moment. On the one hand, you have the visual, someone just watching a cat. But what it really means is taking a step back, observing, and just seeing how things develop before you jump in. It's all about having a wait-and-see approach. Okay, so that's the theory. But how does this phrase actually work in a real conversation? This is an extremely common idiom over there, so it's definitely worth knowing how you might hear it used in the wild. All right, picture this. You're in a business meeting. You might hear someone say this about a colleague who's being pretty quiet. Let's hear it in Dutch. Hij zei niet veel tijdens de vergadering. Hij keek eerst de kat uit de boom. So what that really means is that the person wasn't being passive or checked out. Not at all. They were actually being strategic, observing the room, seeing what others were saying, and waiting for the right moment before offering their own opinion. It's a completely different thing than just being quiet. Here's another classic scenario, this time when you're starting something new. Bij nieuwe projecten kijkt hij altijd eerst de kat uit de boom. This one just perfectly captures the whole idea, doesn't it? Before committing time, money, or energy, this person prefers to size up the situation first. They're not rushing in, they're gathering intel. And this is where it gets really, really interesting, because this idiom is more than just language. It actually gives us a peek into the culture. It's not just some quirky saying. Many people feel it reflects a key part of the Dutch national character. You see, this whole approach is rooted in pragmatism and caution. It's seen as a sensible, observant attitude. And here's the most important part. This is not seen as laziness or being indecisive. It's actually a respected strategy, especially when you're entering a new social situation or a complex business deal. You watch the cat for a little while before you decide if you even need to get the ladder out. You know, one of the best ways to really understand an idea is to look at its direct opposite. So if you're not watching the cat, what are you doing instead? Well, in the Netherlands, you might be grabbing a cow. And the antonym is a phrase you'll probably recognize, to take the bull by the horns. Well, in this case, it's a cow. Let's hear the Dutch version.
De koe bij de horens vatten.
And this just lays out the two competing philosophies so perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you have the cautious, observant, wait-and-see approach of watching the cat, and on the other, you have the decisive, proactive, let's do this now action of grabbing the cow by the horns. So this all brings us to the real takeaway, a question about your own style. Which of these two approaches do you naturally lean towards? Are you a cat watcher or a cow grabber? Think about it for a second. When you're faced with something new, a new project at work, a party where you don't know anyone, a sudden problem, what's your gut instinct? Is it to hang back, assess from a distance, and watch the cat out of the tree for a while? Or do you jump right in and grab the cow by the horns? There's no right answer, of course, but knowing your own style, well, that's a pretty powerful piece of self-knowledge to have.